The broadcast is now starting. All attendees are in listen-only mode.
Okay, no one can see me. Show screen, and now they can see me. Good evening, everyone. Thought I'd jump on here and wave and say hi. And Erica, there you are. You know, I realized in this, well, someone told me, I didn't realize it, but you can go down to our little name here that says Colby. Oh, this one's not doing it. On Zoom, it lets you change the name, so we don't have to have the wrong name on here, but not letting me.
Oh.
So.
We could be Colby.
Yeah, exactly. We have to be. So before we start and shut off this cute little video that we have here, I need someone to give me a high sign to say you can see us, you can hear us, you can see the welcome to week 5 bash camp thing. I see Stephanie raised her hand, and I'm not sure why, but if someone either text me that they usually do and let me know everything looks good, or if someone on here raises their hand on the little audience thing, then we'll know that we're good, because I always like to make sure, since we are recording this, that you guys can see everything. All right, so okay, I got a bunch of hands raised, so I think that means we're good, Erica. Okay?
Okay.
Awesome. All right, you ready to start?
I'm ready.
All right, bye guys. We're going to turn us off so you can look at the screen. Hold on a second. Oh, did you do that? How did that happen? Okay. All right, you're going to start us off, Erica, so... Oh, the screen is back. Hold on a second, guys.
I was like,
Now it only paused me.
oh no.
Hide. How about that? What the heck? All right, can you see me now?
No, I just still see the screen.
Okay, so you can see welcome to week 5, right?
Yeah.
All right, awesome. So we'll get started. Hold on a second. We really do know what we're doing. We know what we're doing. All right, we good? Go.
Okay. So welcome to week 5. As we said, we have one more week. Next week is going to be our last week. So please join us. And we're very excited that you're here tonight. As you know, our bash camp mantra is, I'm a bash camper. I am, I can, I will, I do.
Woohoo!
Yeah.
All right, hold on. This thing is kind of crazy. Okay, go ahead.
Okay. So our goal is always about you and to help you be a better consultant, to help you reach your goals consistently. Where was I going with this? Sorry. So yeah, the goal is always about you because we want you to reach those goals, whatever your goal may be. So let's go ahead and review last week's assignments. Last week we had the Take $1,000 Blend Bash Party quiz. And for as a bonus, you had to settle a $1,000 Blend Bash Party by May 9th, and that's a $10 bonus point. It's not required, it is optional, so you don't have to do it. But if you do, good for you. We're very excited about that. And as you can see, for week 5, we do have 2 assignments, which is post most of your party quiz, 2 bookings, and a lead survey, which you want to take after holding a party with the new tips and tricks that we are teaching you within this camp. I just want to clarify a few things for you. The $1,000 Blend Bash Party, that's a bonus. Like I said, it's optional. You don't have to do it, but next week, one of the assignments is settle a Blend Bash Party. So the SV does not matter. We just want you to settle a party before or by May 9th to get those 10 points. And do you want to weigh anything, Connie?
Yeah, I think the big thing here is I've had some people send me some questions about this. And, you know, obviously going through Bash Camp, our hope was that you would hold at least a blend bash during Bash Camp. I mean, that's the whole idea. So if you hold a blend bash, which certainly you can host yourself or you can have someone else do it, it doesn't matter, like you said, Erica, what the sales are, but you are going to get the points for graduating by just holding the blend bash itself. If you want the 10 bonus points, that's when you have to follow the criteria. We will cover that at the end. Hit the $1,000, have the minimum of 6 guests, you not be the host. I mean, there's some criteria for that. So there's really 2 parts to that. You can just settle one at any value and get the points that you need to graduate. And if you want the bonus points, then it's 1,000 plus with the criteria. So that's really it. So if anybody has any questions about that, let us know, because we want to make sure you understand that very clearly. Okay? Ready for the next one?
I am.
Okay.
So this week, what you'll be learning is you're going to learn how to make the most of a party, whether it's a blend bash party or a traditional party. Previously, we learned how to establish goals and build trust, how to build relationship with your contacts, sharing a compelling reason to book a blend bash, and the keys to a $1,000 party. So this week, we want to focus and concentrate on how to make the most of a party. So with that being said, as we're on the final stages of the sale process, all you do in building a successful business can be enhanced or derailed depending how you treat your customers, making them feel special, delivering what you promise, and giving them a good experience in any dealings with you. So we'll be talking about ways to make the most of every party you do. Blend Bash is a great way to book new business, book business with past customers and previous hosts that have never hosted a party like this before, and simplifies your business by saving time and effort because, of course, Blend Bash is a simple and easy way to party.
Absolutely.
So the great thing about including parties in your business plan to achieve your monthly sales goals is that they are duplicatable. They're fun and easy, and they allow you to build stronger relationships with customer and host. They also provide an easy way to introduce others to the business and book additional parties to keep your calendar consistently booked. Blend Bash is intended to be a mingle and shop kind of party, so which can be challenging for you to create an opportunity to upsell, book, and offer the business without a plan. So we hope to share some tips tonight that may help you to maximize your results with the ultimate goal being that $8,000 party. That said, don't ever feel inadequate or that you failed if your parties are not hitting that $1,000 sales. Just work to increase your average party. So if you're currently having an average party of 450 per party and you can increase that average by 600, I mean, that's a huge, you're going from 450 to 600. So that represents a 33% increase in sales and commissions, which, heck, that's better than nothing, right?
Celebrate that for sure.
I know, let's party for that.
Mm-hmm.
So if you're striving for the $1,000 mark, it will help you to stretch yourself to do things that might not normally work, but sometimes it's a process to fine-tune your party, so give it time and be willing to try new things. And then keep track of your numbers so you know if the changes you are making are increasing your averages or not. And with the Bash Box edition, the potential of increasing your guest count is the key to all of the above happening. Utilize this amazing tool as it's intended to increase your results. So Bash Boxes, are intended to bring more guests to your party because, of course, without the Bash Box, you can't party.
Okay, so we talked about host coaching last week, and I just wanted to touch on a few things to just reiterate the importance of what goes on during that pre-party stage. So when you're comfortable and confident about working with your host to pre-sell those Bash Boxes that you were just talking about, Erica, two things happen. You help your host to overcome their greatest fear, which is no one showing up, of course. Selling 10 Bash Boxes will pretty much ensure, and it's not 100% guarantee, but it's really going to be a much more greater opportunity that you're going to have 10 guests there. So obviously, since guests have spent money to be part of that blending experience, the likelihood of them backing out is greatly reduced. So your host can now breathe and really not worry about the party count falling just hours before the party. So the second thing is because of the Blend Bash, you're starting the party with 260 in sales. So certainly that's a win for you and it's a win for your host. The risk of parties canceling really could become a thing of a past for you. So the formula for that $1,000 party is 10 buying guests spending approximately $100 each, plus 3 pre-party orders and 3 outside orders. So when you're really talking to your host, share what you know to be that ideal order, which is 3 jars, a simmering light, and an accent shade. And that's with people that may not attend, so that those 3 pre-party and 3 post-party orders can be strong, as well as the party or the guests that are actually at the party itself. So that represents that $100 order, or you can obviously come up with your own bundle ideas just to kind of encourage that buy. So really encourage your host to suggest some ideas to any of the guests that can't attend, because if they've never been to a party before, they're probably going to be a little lost when they look at the catalog. So we want to give the host some ideas to share so that they have something to start out with. It might be just like a getting started with PZ package or some kind of bundle that you put together. So maybe even have the host pick out a few favorites that they really like as you create the wish list that they can also share with those guests as well. And then, of course, always offer to send samples to those guests before the party to really encourage those pre-party orders for anyone that may not be able to attend or that is not pre-ordering that bash box. Because obviously, if they order the bash box, there's no need for you to send out samples anymore. It's great. Okay, on from there, never forget that your host has more clout with her group of friends than you do. So challenge your host to book one party before you even arrive, either from the group that's attending, because she knows some of those people that would love to party, or someone that isn't able to attend. And with your intention and your need, we've talked about this before, about booking 2 parties at every party that you do. When your host books one before the party even begins, half of your booking goal is already met. So a bingo game or something similar can sometimes help with the hosts that like a challenge. I mean, there's a lot of them that do. They love that extra free stuff if you're willing to just give them a bonus of some sort for filling out part of the bingo thing. So use it to support your host in increasing the sales, of course, that booking that we just talked about, and even sponsoring opportunities with people that she knows, someone that she thinks might be really good at the business or that the business could be really good for them. So maybe consider offering a referral bonus, which is something that I did when I was in the field, when they obviously refer someone that joins your team. So with the help from Krista Clay and Lori LeGrone months back, they created a bingo challenge that we now have available on the app as well as in the back office for your use. It's both in JPEG and PDF versions, and there is also a white and a pink one if you don't want to print this pink one. This one's great to actually email, but the other one's better for printing. So you certainly can post it or you can print it just to include in your host packets if you choose. And again, like I said, there's a white background version if you want to save some ink. Okay, so now the party. As fun as blend bashes are proving to be, you still need the opportunity to upsell, which of course is just increasing that average order, to book and to find prospects or look for business leads. So if you don't think about it beforehand, that blending is going to end and you're going to lose that opportunity. So we really promote this, of course, as a mingle and shop kind of party, but it's still important to fit in time for helping you and your host have a successful party with results in all 3 key areas, which is sales, booking, and business leads. So make use of the Blend Bash use and party cards that we have. I've been amazed with all the pink sapphires that I have done, how many people do not know that these exist. And they've been in the back office since July under Blend Bash. So print them off if you've not done that yet. It'll really just help you with your entire presentation and a really good tool for brand new consultants if they don't have a clue what to do or they're nervous about what to say, because these cards really take you through the timeline, the ideas or the things to really bring, the resources that you need, some setup tips, and then the actual party presentation and the one-on-one close. Everything is there. So the cards give you all these tips on what to bring and setting everything up and what to say. So I think they can be extremely helpful if you're not using them already. Of course, you can print them and laminate them and then put them on a little ring, punch a hole in the corner, and they're easy to flip and just keep yourself on track when you're doing your parties. So your opening really sets the stage for a blend bash. So it can be short and it can be sweet because we talk about the fact that these blend bashes are short on presentation, but you really need to get some of your messaging out there before the blending actually begins. Set the stage for how the evening is going to go, get your story in terms of why you joined, why you stay, why you love Pink Zebra so much, and maybe how your life has changed. Share a little bit about your products and the company, of course, that you want them to know, and just be sure to share that guests can learn about hosting their own party or how they can really add some extra income to their household with a Pink Zebra business. So really, kind of just let them know that you're going to be asking them about those things when you sit down with them to place their orders. It'll give them just a heads up on what's to come. So as the blending begins, be sure to let them know about the other Blend Bash themes that we have available, of course, because there's 6 other themes. If you guys have not printed off the booking guide that the marketing team created, you probably need to do that. I've been taking that on the tours with me, and everybody is going crazy over it. So they printed it on regular 8.5 by 11 sheets, but then also they spiral bound it. So it is really attractive. It's a great thing to leave out, and certainly something you can pass around to the guests so they can see what the other themes are. Plus there's calendars in there for the entire season. There's product pages in there that recaps all of our shades and our warming products. It's really, really fabulous. So you can be asking the group who's going to host the next Blend Bash. And sometimes I found just asking the group that question I would kind of just in the group raise my hand. Okay, who's going to do the next blend bash? And someone will raise their hand and say, I will. And we're like, we need one more. So really just kind of use that group and that group mentality to kind of get those bookings and that discussion happening. So ask the group or even someone specific if they could really see themselves sharing these products as a business, because when you see someone really into it, boy, you look like you're having a great time. I can see you doing what I do. And you can just plant those little seeds as the blending is going on. And of course, be using that mingling time to just drop the seeds and share some product ideas as well. And then certainly you can share some of the tips that are on the screen just to help them with the blending experience, like putting their initials on the bags and making sure, of course, that they write down what they're blending, because you know full well that they probably won't remember if they don't write something down. So on from there, certainly the one-on-one time is really your chance to capitalize on those seeds that you've lightly planted during the opening and during your blending, and to get to know your guests better. Don't be shy about this part. This is probably one of the most important parts of the party itself. Most people honestly don't close well, and it's one of those learned skills that you can get good at if you keep practicing. So don't give up on it. And if you feel that you've got that down, really share what you're doing with others, whether you do it on our PZ Bash Camp number 5 page, just to share some tips with people if you really feel like you're good at that. And that's a good thing if you are. So certainly remember to suggest a bundle or be sure that they've included a warmer or an accent shade. Of course, if they know in the US, of course, that at $49.99 or more, there's free shipping. So if you are using a customer care card, and we do have one of those in the back office and on the app as well, have your guests fill out a care card. I always did that. As I started reviewing their order, I would put the card in front of them, or you can do it at the beginning of the party, whichever works best for you. But sometimes people will feel more comfortable checking off something that they're interested in learning about than really saying something directly to you. So you may even possibly have the chance to catch that while they're still sitting there in front of you. And certainly if they've checked off something on the card, when they kind of pass it back to you, you can easily say, I see that you've checked, that you'd like to learn more about earning a free trip or earning extra income, whatever your care card shows. What would you like to know? So it's a great way to kind of get a conversation going if you are in fact using that card. Okay, so I would encourage you to set up an area close to everyone to really close out each guest. Don't feel like you need to go into a separate room. I always like to be near the crowd because I could certainly overhear conversations and things that they were discussing. So really asking questions is your key to building a relationship and certainly present more opportunities for the business. So be intentional with your questions and really make it conversational and comfortable. It wouldn't be any different than if you sat down with next to somebody at a doctor's office. You'd probably start up a conversation somehow. So when you really are confident in what you have to offer, so whether it's an opportunity to host a party that they're going to have a great time with their friends, they're going to get some really fabulous free products. And certainly we are so confident about the fact that everybody needs to have Blend Bash in their home, or maybe just to join your team. Your guests are going to notice really how you come across when you put that stuff out there. So just let that anxiety and fear kind of set that aside. Just ask questions when you think about this for their benefit, not yours. When you really are genuinely interested in them with a desire to give them a great party experience with their friends or to join a business that could really change their lives, there's just no need for you to feel anxious about that. So remember that questions gain information and really help steer your conversation to business building opportunities, which is what you're looking for. Those parties are your gateway to all of that. So one key question that can really lead to so many more is simply, do you work outside the home? That was one key question I found when I started that way. I could branch into lots of other things just with that one question. It kind of just opened the floodgate for conversation. So you certainly, as you ask that question, and they respond in some way, then you can simply ask, do you like what you do? Do you work full-time or part-time? I mean, there's lots of different things that you can find out in those couple of minutes about them. So every conversation, of course, goes differently, but really decide what you need as you're going into this party itself. So think about, do you have dates open on your calendar that you really need to have booked? Is your sponsoring where you want it to be? Know going into a party where your greatest need is, and that's really what you want to try to concentrate on. So even though you should be offering, of course, both the opportunity to host and to join your team, there are times when the chance to do so just doesn't come. I mean, not every guest is going to sit there and you can have a 5-minute conversation with them. It doesn't always happen. So if you know that you need bookings, be sure to ask that as a minimum, at a minimum. And if you're able to book a party with that guest, you know you can always use that party experience to share more about joining when she actually becomes a host. So we thought we would just do a really quick role play if you're ready to do that with me, Erica.
I am. Are you ready?
I am. Okay, so I'm going to act as the consultant. Erica's going to be my guest, and I'm just going to kind of run through what we just kind of discussed. So hi, Erica. Did you have fun tonight?
Oh, I did. I did have a lot of fun. I've never been to a Blend Bash party before.
Oh, that's awesome. I'm so glad to hear it, and I'm so glad that you enjoyed it. So let me take a look at your order. Let me just ask, do you work outside the home?
I do. I do.
So what do you do?
I actually work in the sales department for a furniture company.
I was going to put in there that you worked in there in a sales department for a fragrance company, but I decided I shouldn't put it in there. So let me just ask, do you like it?
Somewhat. Sometimes I do. Sometimes I don't, you know.
I know how that is. I know probably if you've got kids, it's a challenge sometimes keeping a job up. So have you ever thought of doing something alongside your job to just earn an extra like $500 a month or more?
You know what? No, but I mean, the extra income would be really, really nice. I would like that.
So would you be open to taking some information home just to take a look at it? And then I could follow up with you tomorrow?
Sure, why not?
Okay, all right, great. So how would you feel? Let me ask you next. How would you feel about hosting a Blend Bash like Sharon did tonight? It honestly, if there's any thought of you looking at the business, it would be a great way for you to learn more about what it takes as a host, and certainly to learn more about Pink Zebra and the business itself.
You know, I mean, I like, you know, the whole Blend Bash party, but I'm not sure if I would be good at hosting a Blend Bash party.
Okay, so I would just walk you through what the process looks like, and I'm sure if you talk to Sharon, she would tell you how easy and fun this party is to do. So if you were able to do a party, what day of the week would be best for you?
I would say maybe Thursday. Yeah, Thursday or Friday. I think that would work better for
Okay.
me.
So at this point, I would look at my calendar, or I may use like the booking envelopes that Shannon Stewart so successfully uses. She'll have envelopes sitting there with dates available. And if you said a Thursday worked, I'd pick up a Thursday calendar, and she predates dates, obviously weeks out. And I'd hand that to you and say, okay, why don't we try Thursday? I don't know what a Thursday is, but let's say May 12th, whatever. Okay. So
Okay.
we're not going to go on from there, but basically that's kind of how you get your conversation going. And if she does book, I may stop at that point. It really depends. That exchange probably took us, about 3 minutes maybe. But if the booking wasn't happening, I would go and focus on increasing her order. That would be my next step. So I might say something like, I see you bought a simmering light. Was there an accent shade that you had your eye on? Do you like the idea of blending your own fragrances? And can I suggest a few others for you that might work well with what you've purchased? Maybe I might ask if there's other rooms in your home that could use some fragrance help. I might ask how old your kids are, and do you want to consider something for their rooms? Certainly any thoughts on using soaps for a bathroom with our Naked Reeds or a Woolly. They're also, of course, great for spraying furniture if you've got pets. I mean, there's so many different ways that you can go to basically expose them to some of the other products and other opportunities to increase that sale. Okay, so it's back to you, Erica. Thank you for that.
Thank you. So with all that being said and done, after your party is over and you settled your party, you want to evaluate your results. You want to be asking yourself, did you book 2 parties? Did you find someone interested in learning about the business, whether it was to be a host or a guest? Did you offer the host to join your team, or maybe one of the guests to join your team? What were the total party sales, and did it exceed your average? Is your average going up? So make sure that once your party's done over, you evaluating your results, because you want to see how you're improving, or if you need to make any adjustments. Even if your party is your average party is improving, you want to, go above and beyond, just so you can, improve yourself. So just make sure you're looking at your numbers and see what the difference is before before you made your goal and after your goal.
Yeah, so I'm just going to add something here to just say that if any of you are not very, I guess, aware of what your numbers are in terms of how many bookings that you get at each party, how much in sales you actually generate, do you actually, find business leads at every party that you do, what even like your average customer is purchasing and how many average customers you have at the parties that you do. Maybe look at your stats from the last couple of months and just kind of create a benchmark for yourself. And then as you do every party and you try to incorporate some of the things that you've learned through Bash Camp, you can start watching your numbers and see if in fact you are increasing your results. Because if you don't know where you are now as a benchmark and you start making some changes, you're not going to know if those changes are going to make a difference or not. So it's really a matter of you testing and trying some different techniques and some different tips, and then really finding out if the results that you're achieving are in fact improving. So, and if they're not, then you know you need to do something differently, because that's the great thing about this business is that if something isn't working, you can change it to make it better. So we just want to help you improve those results, no question.
Yeah,
Okay.
and like as we said before, don't be scared to make any changes to your business, whether it might be, approaching your customers differently. Don't be afraid to do that.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So really, I mean, it's one of the things we talked about. I don't know if it was last week, Erica, or the week before, where we had the information plus application equals transformation. So it is
Yes.
a bit of taking some of the things that you're learning, even though you've gotten kind of probably comfortable in where you are. If you really want to see your results change, you have to get to that uncomfortable place again. That means that you're trying some things that you might not have tried before, and it's going to feel uncomfortable that first or second time. But once you start doing it, it's going to start to feel very comfortable, and then you can start tweaking some other things. So it's a process. I mean, it's really a process. And if you're someone that's experiencing low party sales, then you've got to be willing to try some of these things. So because we know that you certainly have an opportunity to increase those numbers if they're low. And if you're falling below the company average, then for sure, there's probably some things that you can do that will increase your results. I always try to track myself with what the company averages were to make sure that I was always at least keeping at that or even going higher than that, because I wanted to make sure that I was not falling below average. Because if I am, that means, again, like I said, there's some things that I could probably tweak and change to improve the results. Okay, go on from there.
Okay, so let's go ahead and wrap up our training for tonight, and let's cover tonight's assignments. Assignment number 9, like I said, it's make the most of your party quiz, which is worth 10 points. And assignment number 10 is to complete the book 2 parties and 1 lead from next party quiz.
Right. So I want to make sure on that one, that is a quiz. And so the idea is for you to book 2 parties and get a lead from the next party that you do. And the quiz is actually asking you about that. So it doesn't mean that you have to get the 2 bookings and you have to get the 1 lead. It's just, are you using the tools or changing some things in your party to work towards that goal? So, okay.
And so with that, so by the end of the bash camp, we do want you to settle at least 1 blend bash party. It doesn't matter what the party total is, as long as you are settling 1 blend bash party by May 9th. If you do a $1,000 party, that you get 10 bonus points extra. You remember, you can host. It must be at least 6 customers or more. You can be a customer, but not all of the customers can be you. They must be settled by May 9th. And we also ask that if you do host a $1,000 party, make sure you're posting on a bash camp page saying, what is our hashtag?
It's the PZ Blend Bash.
Thank you. Just to kind of give motivation to your peers as well.
Absolutely. Good point. Good.
And I think that's it, right?
Yep, that's our final.
And then, as we always close by saying thank you. And I'm a bash camper. I am, I can, I will, I do, and I did. So we hope to see you next week, which is our last bash camp, April 25th at 8 p.m. Central Time, 9 Eastern Time.
Yep, absolutely. So hard to believe that it's going to be over in a week, isn't it?
I know. I feel like it just went by so fast.
Yeah, this one seemed like it went by really fast, no doubt about it. So I hope everyone has a fabulous Easter holiday. Enjoy that time with your families and have a great week. And Erica and I will see you next Thursday.
Bye.
Bye, guys.